Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 22nd of August, 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 gained at 0.2% today to 8,027 points, marking 2 weeks of positive closes. The huge jump in WiseTech Global's share price yesterday after its earnings announcement continued today, with WiseTech up another 8%. Founder Richard White's bank balance is up about $2 billion on the back of the last couple of days. The WiseTech surge helped the tech index, which was the best of the 11 indices on the ASX. Brambles was another strong performer among the large caps. Some of the profit results today: tech player Megaport tumbled 20% after its result missed expectations. KFC and Collins Foods plunged to 13% after it warned its profit margins will fall in financial 2025 due to rising labour, energy and store costs. Childcare group G8 Education has grown profits and earnings in the first half of 2024, but flagged difficult times ahead for the industry coming into the new financial year. Its share price tumbled 15%. Gold Explorer Northern Star doubled its underlying full-year net profit and declared an increase in dividend. Now, that's thanks to the higher price of gold, of course. Discount retailer The Reject Shop blamed soaring costs for a 36% drop in net profit. And retailer Beacon Lighting posted an 11% fall in net profit, in part due to higher costs, which the group blamed on ongoing inflation. Story number 2, Bank of Queensland will sack 400 staff and acquire 114 franchised branches in a major overhaul of Australia's 6th largest bank. Chief Executive Patrick Allaway said the changes aim to simplify the bank and will cost up to $125 million in an effort to make the lender profitable, or at least more profitable. Mr. Allaway said the days of rivers of gold for banks are over, and analysts said that it's particularly the case for the regional banks. Profit margins are being crunched as customers shift to digital channels. Having a legacy retail banking operation isn't something CEOs want anymore, or at least they want it less. Bank of Queensland's share price fell more than 6% today. Story number 3, developer Stockland built more houses than it forecast last year, settling 5,637 lots, and is predicting increased settlements over the medium term. It's some good news for the housing sector, and there hasn't been much of that recently. The country's largest diversified developer said conditions had improved in the second half of the last financial year, in part due to a more stable interest rate environment. Chief Executive Tarun Gupta said Stockland launched 15 new master planned communities and land lease communities last financial year, another 8 this financial year. Revenue fell 6% to $3 billion. Funds from operations, which is an industry measure of profit, fell 7%. Net profit after tax was down 31%, partly reflecting an increase in property devaluations. Stockland's share price rose 4%. Story number 4, Australia's biggest private health insurer, Medibank. Its earnings were helped by strong growth in the number of foreign students taking out private health insurance, but fewer permanent residents signed up for policies last year due to stronger competition. Chief Executive David Kozar said industry growth would moderate this year after reporting a 14% increase in underlying net profit for the year to June 30. That was in line with expectations. There were 14,400 net new resident policyholders and an extra 69,000 non-resident policyholders, reflecting all that student interest. The health insurance market remains competitive, with some insurers chasing volumes rather than margins, according to analysts. Medibank's share price fell 2% today. And finally, story number 5, several US Federal Reserve officials acknowledged there was a plausible case for cutting interest rates at their last meeting before the central bank's policy committee voted unanimously to keep them steady, according to minutes of the meeting. And the vast majority of officials observed that if the data continues to come in about as expected, it would likely be appropriate to ease policy at the next meeting. Futures markets in the US are pricing in about 100 basis points, or 1 percentage point, of easing this year. The Fed chair is scheduled to speak on the economic outlook tomorrow night, Australian time. Otherwise, Brent crude is trending lower while gold is hovering around the $2,500 an ounce level. The uranium price, that's an interesting one. It's fallen to $80 a pound. That's at its lowest level since November last year. The Aussie dollar's buying 67.4 US cents. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 22nd of August, 2024. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, X and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. The top 5 business stories you need to know in 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.